Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing in Michigan, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. The US state of Utah has passed a law mandating that all mobile phones and tablets sold within the state automatically block pornographic content in order to prevent children from accessing sexually explicit material. The legislation was signed into law this week by Republican Governor Spencer Cox. It won't come into effect, however, unless 5 other US states enact similar bans. That provision was added to the new law in order to address concerns that it could be difficult to implement. Staying in the US, and Archbishop Alexander Sample of Portland in Oregon has issued a public note of gratitude to Pope Francis for reaffirming church teaching on homosexuality. Earlier this month, the Vatican's doctrinal watchdog, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, issued a statement confirming that the Church cannot bless same-sex unions. That clarification was endorsed by Pope Francis. In response, Archbishop Sample said he wanted to express gratitude to the Holy Father for, quote, honouring the truth of the human person and the dignity of marriage. New Zealand has become only the second country in the world to provide bereavement leave to couples who suffer a miscarriage or stillbirth. The bill establishing that new law passed its third and final reading in the New Zealand Parliament on March the 24th. It states that an unplanned end to any pregnancy due to miscarriage or stillbirth will now qualify a mother or father for paid bereavement leave of up to 3 days. In passing that new law, New Zealand follows the example of India, who became the first country to introduce such legislation back in 1961. Pope Francis says that Jesus Christ entrusted the Blessed Virgin Mary to the human race as our mother, but not as our co-redeemer. The Holy Father made his statement on March the 24th during his weekly general audience in Rome. He said that while the Catholic Church bestows many beautiful and fitting titles upon Mary, it was important to remember that her son Jesus Christ is the only Redeemer of humanity. The Pope was responding to an ongoing theological debate about whether or not the Church should declare the Blessed Virgin Mary as co-redemptrix or co-redeemer in honour of her pivotal role in the redemption of humanity. Meanwhile, Pope Francis has also hailed the 14th century Italian writer Dante Alighieri as the supreme poet who can help us advance with courage on the pilgrimage of life and faith. The Holy Father paid his literary tribute in a new Apostolic Letter issued on March the 25th, the 700th anniversary of Dante's death in 1321. The papal letter is entitled Candor Lucis Aeternae, or Splendour of Light Eternal. It labels Dante as a prophet of hope because his work, says Pope Francis, urges humanity to free itself from the dark forest of sin to find the right path again. The Holy Father paid particular attention to Dante's final work, the Divine Comedy, which takes readers on a journey through hell, purgatory and heaven, and is widely regarded as his greatest poem. Consecrated men and women are still at the very heart of the Church, as they reveal the glory and the face of the Father in the luminous splendour of the Holy Spirit. That's the opinion of Cardinal de AVIZ, who is the head of the Vatican's Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life. The Cardinal's comments coincide with the 25th anniversary of Pope St. John Paul II's Apostolic Exhortation Vita Consecrata on the topic of consecrated life. Consecrated life is defined by the Church as those men and women who live according to a public profession of poverty, chastity and obedience, and in a stable state of life recognised by the Church. Finally, the Metropolitan Archdiocese of Manila in the Philippines has a new Archbishop-elect. He's 68-year-old Cardinal Jose Fuerte Advincula, who is presently the Archbishop of Capiz. He'll replace Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as the capital city's Archbishop. Cardinal Tagle was appointed prefect of the Vatican's Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples back in February 2020. Cardinal Advincula has been a priest since 1976. He was appointed Bishop of San Carlos in 2001 by Pope St. John Paul II. Pope Benedict XVI then appointed him as Archbishop of Capiz in 2011, and he was elevated to the Sacred College of Cardinals last year by Pope Francis. Hence, congratulations Cardinal Advincula, ad multos annos. Well, that's your latest headlines. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also visit us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.